Hi. So in the last session, we discussed about how to approach environment for UPSC and state PSC. Not only this, but any other exam as such. So we dealt with the topics in the environment. So there were three broad topics. What were they? Environment and ecology, biodiversity, and climate change. The first topic, environment and ecology, how to approach it, was done yesterday. So the approach was basics or theory, and after you know the theory, then you go to how to conserve environment and ecology. So in that, you have the programs, organization, and action policies, POA, as I told you. So this is how you conserve it. Now today's topic is going to be on biodiversity. Okay, that will be part 2, and we'll discuss biodiversity. This was yesterday's. We discussed about basic definitions and then functions of ecosystem, pollution, renewable energy. All this were coming in basics, and after that we went into programs, organizations, and acts and rules. This was a basic structure how to approach ecology. Okay, so today's quote is nature protects you when she is protected. So let's all protect nature so that she can protect us. Okay, so even in biodiversity we are going to have the same approach, that is basic programs, organization, acts, and one extra thing that we are going to learn here is conservation areas. Okay, so this is a conservation area in Karnataka. This picture was taken in Nagarhole National Park. So let's go ahead and see how to approach biodiversity as such. So before approaching biodiversity, let's know what is the definition of biodiversity. So before learning any topic, we need to know what is that topic, what is it, what is biodiversity. So biodiversity is nothing but the variety of plants and animals around us. So yesterday there was a variety, I made it like this. So today my presentation is through mind maps, which I use some online tools to make. So this is a variety, so that is the kind of variety what I'm trying to say over here. Once you know what is biodiversity, next we move on to the measurement of biodiversity or the levels of biodiversity. Let's go to the levels of biodiversity. So in levels you have the genetic, you have genetic, species, and ecosystem. Okay, there's a small spelling mistake. Genetic diversity is the diversity within a species. For example, आप और मेरे में क्या डाइवर्सिटी है इन द जीन्स. ओके, हम दोनों डिफरेंट इसलिए है क्योंकि मेरा जीन्स आपके जीन से अलग है. ओके, दैट इज द जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी in a species. So we are all homo sapiens. Okay, our genes are different. Maybe my genes are very different from ones in Africa, or my genes are very different from ones in China. It might be less as compared to someone here very close to me. Okay, so that's called genetic diversity. Okay, even in congenital twins, you have kind of a little bit of genetic diversity, that is variation in genes. Next level of diversity is your species diversity between different species. For example, me and tiger, how much species? We are two different species. Okay, Panthera tigris and Homo sapiens. So much differences in eyes and color, and the way we talk and walk and whatnot. Okay, so this is the species diversity between us. Now, what is ecosystem diversity? Ecosystem diversity is the number of ecosystems in a region. As I already told you, what is an ecosystem? Ecosystem is a community of organisms, biotic, abiotic things interacting with each other. Okay, this interaction. So ऐसे वाला बहुत सारे ecosystems हो सकता है. कौन सा? It might be a tree ecosystem, it might be a pond ecosystem, river ecosystem, any ecosystem. So there are small ecosystems in a region. So if there are a lot of ecosystems in a region, lot of different types of ecosystem. It's not that there are like 100 tree ecosystems. We need a lot of different variety of ecosystems. Then we call it as ecosystem diversity. So genetic diversity, variation in the genes. Species diversity, variation in the Species, like for example, in a particular area, if there are a lot of species, for example, me, there is a langur, there is our common macaque, there are crows, hyenas, or anything. So there are a lot of animals, then it's called species diversity. If there is a lot of ecosystem, it's called ecosystem diversity. Once you know the levels of biodiversity, then you should also know how to measure the diversity. Now, in the context of species diversity, we are going to measure the richness and evenness of the species diversity. Now, what is richness and what is evenness? So, uh, richness is the number of species in the area, as I've already told you, and evenness is how evenly they are distributed. There might be same number of species in two different ecosystems, A and B, but where it is evenly distributed, it it differs. For example, in ecosystem 1 there might be 10 tigers and 10 elephants. In ecosystem 2 also there might be 10 tigers and 10 elephants. But in ecosystem 1 it might be that 10 tigers are in one corner and 10 elephants are in another corner. But in ecosystem 2 that we are talking about, in everywhere you see there will be tigers and some elephants. So that is called evenness. कैसे evenly spread हुए वो. Okay, so that is how you measure the biodiversity. So in richness itself you have three different types. Okay, so what are the three different types? One is alpha, one is beta, and one is gamma. Alpha diversity matlab it is the number of species in a particular area. Okay, so that is alpha diversity. Now what is beta diversity? Beta diversity is the डाइवर्सिटी बिटवीन टू डिफरेंट इकोसिस्टम्स. सो दो इकोसिस्टम के बीच में कितने डाइवर्सिटी है उसको बीटा डाइवर्सिटी बोलते हैं. नाउ व्हाट इज गामा डाइवर्सिटी? नाउ द ओवरऑल डाइवर्सिटी ऑफ एन इकोसिस्टम is called as gamma diversity. Don't worry about it. It's just that we are discussing the syllabus, broad topics. So just that you get an idea, that's more than enough. Next, once you understand all these levels, measurement, definition of biodiversity, then you also should know the services of the biodiversity. Now, biodiversity provides you some services. Okay, like I don't know, cab wala gives you taxi services. In the same way, biodiversity as such will give you some services. What are the services? Ecosystem services that we already discussed yesterday, like ecological succession and energy flow, etc., etc. In biological services, the biodiversity, the plants and animals, they give you what? Food, oxygen, etc. Social services, the cultural aspects. You go to a place, beauty, scenic beauty, very nice. This is social services. So this is the services. Next topic is our plant and animal diversity. Okay, so how many plants are there, how many animals are there, and what is the level of importance each of these plants and animals have, that we discuss in plant and animal diversity. For example, some plants may be invasive species, some are medicinal, some are very important for conservation, etc. Animal diversity may be, then there is the IUCN Red List and animal for classification of animals: critically endangered, threatened, not concerned, data not available. So animals are divided according to their level of importance. That we discussed in plant and animal diversity. Okay. Once we discuss all these things, we should also know about the threats to biodiversity. Threats मतलब क्या खतरा है biodiversity को? किससे खतरा है? It may be natural or it may be man-made. Human से भी खतरा हो सकता है. Natural might be volcanoes, forest fires, earthquakes, tsunami, etc. But humans say, again, man-made fires might be, or cutting the forest, poaching. All these are anthropogenic reasons which causes loss of biodiversity. So these losses have to be what? Prevented. So how do we prevent these losses? By conserving the biodiversity. So we have a separate topic of conserving this. So let's see how we conserve this biodiversity. You have ex situ and in situ conservation. Yeah, you have ex situ and in situ conservation. In ex situ conservation, you take the species जहाँ से वो खतरा है उनको, species को, वहाँ से लेके एक और जगह पे लेके जाके वहाँ उसको प्लांट करते हो या फिर वहाँ उसको कंजर्व करते हो. So maybe a botanical garden or a zoo is an example of a ex situ conservation. Now if you start conserving the plants or animals at the same place जहाँ पे उनको कतरा है, उसको in situ conservation बोलते हैं. In situ, in वहीं वहीं कंजर्व करना, ऐसे एज द नेम सजेस्ट. जैसे कि नेशनल पार्क्स हो गया, वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरीज हो गया. आई जस्ट शोड यू अ फोटो ऑफ द नागरोले नेशनल पार्क. इट्स एन इन सिचू कंजर्वेशन. So these are all the basics that you know, that you should know before you go ahead with biodiversity. Now you know this. Once you know this, we will see what are the methods of conserving, like what are the different aspects of conserving. So these are the different aspects. You can conserve them through programs. So programs are not only, programs are uh, not sufficient. So you need organizations. Then you go to organizations or institutions. Then we have acts and policies, that is laws and protocols that people need to follow. इसको नहीं follow करेंगे तो you know you will have certain punishments. After that you have conservation areas. So the same thing that we discussed over here, ex situ and in situ, but here we will see national and international efforts of conservation. पहले हम प्रोग्राम से स्टार्ट करते हैं. So in programs you know, we already discussed in ecology also, if you remember. Programs were Clean Ganga, Swachh Bharat. In international we had the Stockholm Convention, Rotterdam Convention, Minamata, Basel, etc. So in the same way you have programs here too. What are the national programs? You have Project Tiger, Project Elephant, Bamboo Mission. There are a lot of other programs, but I'm not including here because it will become mumbo jumbo. Okay. So I've just included, but if you want to know, there is a Project Leopard, there is Project Kurma, and there is Project Crocodile, and all that. So these are all national programs, the national efforts. The government, which the central government or the state government, which are taking efforts to protect the species. Next is your international conventions. In international level, it's called conventions actually. You have the CMS, CBD, CITES. You might be wondering what is CMS, CBD, and CITES. So in CMS, CBD, and CITES, as I've shown over here, CMS is Convention on Migratory Species. So migratory species को save करने के लिए convention है. Then you have CBD, that is Convention on Biological Diversity. Biodiversity को conserve करने के लिए. फिर CITES है, Conservation on international this thing of endangered species. Then you have traffic. So traffic is also to protect the species which are traded across the borders. Okay, so this is convention on international movement transboundary endangered species, I guess. Not exactly sure now. So anyways, that you know, this is the international conventions, and there are a lot of other conventions also over here. Next, this is the programs. After programs we go to organizations or institutions. So in organizations or institutions, again you have the national and international. In national you have the Animal Welfare Board, the NTCA, the NBA, and the NWB. NWB क्या है? Again, this is the National Wildlife Board. So all these boards or authorities are made. कौन कौन करता है इसको? हाँ, पार्लियामेंट करता है इसको. Okay, parliament makes these boards through some acts of the parliament. So these bodies which are made through the acts of parliament are called statutory bodies. Statutory bodies body बना के किसी act में डाल देते हैं. Otherwise they won't have that authority. Authority होना है तो किसी एक्ट में डालना चाहिए आपको. तो एनीवेज, एनिमल वेलफेयर बोर्ड comes from that Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act of 1960, and then you have the NTCA, which is again your WP Act of 1972. Then you have your NBA, that is National Biodiversity Authority. Again, that is from your Biodiversity Act of 2002. You have your National Wildlife Board, which is again from your WPA Act of 1972. So ये सारे bodies हैं जो कोई ना कोई एक्ट के अंदर आता है. Moving ahead, we have your international organizations or institutions. In your international, you have IUCN, WWF, UNEP, BirdLife International. So these are bodies which do things at an international level. IUCN is International Union for Conservation of Nature. Then you have Wildlife Fund, which you might have heard of. Then you have your United Nations Environment Program and BirdLife International. As the name suggests, they work for the protection of birds. Okay, so that is about organizations. Once you complete organizations, you have acts and policies. Last time also, if you remember, we discussed acts, certain acts that were the EPA, the Air Act, the Water Act for protection of the environment and ecology. Now here too we are going to discuss some acts and policies. So we have your national and your international acts. Okay, in international level it's called a protocol. At national level we have your WPA Act. As I already told you, there were some bodies which we discussed which were formed by WPA Act. One of them, two of them were actually NTCA, it is National Tiger Conservation Authority, और एक और था आपका National Wildlife Board. Moving on, we have Forest Rights Act. Forest Rights Act is also for conservation, that is protection of the rights of the forest dwellers. Okay, so forest dwellers कौन है? जो scheduled tribes है, जो tribes forest में रहते हैं, उनके लिए ये बना हुआ है. And then you have the forest policies which are designed so that इतने होना चाहिए आपका forest, 33% of forest have to be conserved, tree cover होना चाहिए, etc etc. So all this comes under your acts and policies at a national level. And going to international level, you have the Cartagena Protocol and Nagoya Protocol. ये होता है international level पे acts को protocol कहते हैं. And these two protocols came out of the convention to CBD, that is convention to biological diversity के अंदर आया है. मतलब convention as such कुछ नहीं होता, convention वहाँ जाके meet करते हैं. But when these people meet, they decide to follow, they make agreements over there. Okay, they decide to, they make a protocol and they say that binding बना देते हैं और इसको ऐसे follow करना है, rules and protocols बनाते हैं. So these protocols are called as Cartagena Protocol and Nagoya Protocol. They were formed to protect biodiversity and for the equitable sharing of biodiversity. And this Cartagena especially was for preventing the transboundary movement, not preventing as such, but regulating the transboundary movement of genetically modified organisms, which is also part of biodiversity, because these genetically modified organisms can affect the biodiversity, because we don't know how it is going to impact the biodiversity. For example, the GMO mustard case, etc etc. So that is in acts and policies. Now after that we go to your conservation areas. So in conservation areas, again, national and international conservation efforts have been done. In national we have the wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, community reserves and conservation reserves. So let's see, wildlife sanctuaries. Wildlife sanctuaries में क्या है? We saw wildlife sanctuaries are made under your WPA Act itself. So they declare a certain area as a wildlife sanctuary and they give a certain protection. Okay, so the protection is slightly lesser in wildlife sanctuary. Okay, and it's a species oriented. Okay, then we go to your national parks. National park, the protection is slightly higher, where you can't do grazing, etc etc, can't collect forest wood, all that. So when wildlife sanctuary gets promotion, so एक promotion मिलता है तो वो national park बन जाता है. So yeah, so there were a lot of wildlife sanctuaries which were converted to national parks. There are about 550 odd wildlife sanctuaries and 100 or 104, I guess, national parks in India. Okay, so I think you would have heard about tiger reserves also. So these wildlife sanctuaries and national parks together, one big area will be made as a tiger reserve if there is sufficient number of tigers over there and it needs conservation. So that is about wildlife sanctuaries and national parks. They are all under WPA Act itself. Then you have your community reserves और conservation reserves. यहाँ पे जो community का help लेके जो reserves बनाते हैं protection के लिए, उसको community reserves और conservation reserves कहते हैं. There are several differences between these two depending on which land you are going to do it. That is a topic in depth and not to be covered today. So I think you should remember all this with a certain mnemonic. I have underlined the first letters of each of these. That is POAC. That is Programs, Organizations, Acts and Conservation Area. That is POACH. POACH is what I have made a mnemonic over here. That is over here. Other than basics, leave basics that you know you should cover. Other than that, you have Programs, Organizations, Acts and Conservation. POACH is silent. So when you remember this, you will be able to get the entire picture in mind, this mind map in mind. Um, Anyways, I think we have covered everything over here. So this is part two of the approach to environment, and in the next class we'll be covering part three, which is climate change. So until then, thank you.